crying is often seen as a weakness. It's often considered to be shameful, crying. It's often considered to be something that we must withhold, something that we must not freely allow, as if it was somehow detrimental to our persona. But you see, crying holds within it such powerful release. It is such an intensity of emotion free. And the reason I open with this wisdom about crying this morning is not because I want to dishonor its opposite, joy. It's because I want to show you how there is joy within that cryingness that we are often experiencing deeply within us. There is joy right there to behold, right there within that weeping of our being. And that joy right there within that cryingness within is an offering of awareness about our fullness. You see, our fullness is not just joyful. It is not ever just joyful. Our fullness is always the all. And that crying is just the all within us, offering us expression to that opposite of joy. Now, we are sometimes conditioned to believe mistakenly that crying is undesirable, that somehow if we are weeping within that, we are not joyful deeply in our essence. But that is mistaken conditioning. It is not an accurate application of wisdom, because you see, an accurate wisdom would never suggest that crying was undesirable. Just as the wisdom of love would never offer you any suggestion that any darkness attached to your being within currently is undesirable. There is no energy within you undesirable at any moment in time, at any experience, at any circumstance. It is all one love, perfectly designed to awaken you to your inherent joy within. Yes, even the crying. Now, I have spent lots and lots of hours in my life weeping. I used to stare at myself weeping in a mirror over and over and over again, every night. And there is a story that goes with that I will share another time. But for now, I just wanted to emphasize how the mirror was quite symbolic. You see, when I am crying, Source reflects back to me love. When I am crying, it is love that I am receiving, not attack. It's not a negative offering, but a love designed to enlighten your understanding of your depths of duality within. The duality that we are here to transcend, that we are here to allow and rise from. It's not the duality we are here to drown in. It's not the duality we are here to be imprisoned by. No, it's the duality here to enlighten our brilliance within so that we may freely honour the awe. Do you really believe that we are here just to experience one side of the all? No, we are not. There is no way that we are here just to honour half of what we are. We must realise that crying, and any other word that applies to any other feeling less than joy, that we could apply that energy of crying to. Let's envelop that within this conversation now too. We must remember that they are simply guiding us to freedom. When I was looking at myself crying in the mirror, not at that time was I remembering of that. At that time I was just imprisoned behind this shame and this guilt and this grief and this pain and this darkness. But beyond that, now beyond that, I see so clearly how in the mirror I was offered a face of my truth, because that crying was my voice of my soul begging me for freedom within. It was begging me to allow it to rise from that darkness and shine freely as the all that I am. Gosh, that's probably a little bit too in-depth, a little bit too out there, a little bit too confusing for many of you who have yet to welcome into them this wisdom of who we are. But you see, this is why I am illuminating this now. This is why I have been offered this wisdom, so that I can do a little bit of that prep work for you, a little bit of that illumination for you, so that when you begin to awaken within, that it is not so foreign to your being, that you have already touched upon some of this knowledge prior to your experiences that will arise, and they will arise, they are on their way. This is the awakening of the all that we are currently welcoming. And so I'll end it there with many questions, and that is fantastic, because the questions are what prompt more questions and more wondering, more curiosity about all that we are within. And so I will allow this mysterious little offering to simply be as it is, without embellishing it further, because embellishment is absolutely irresponsible when it comes to attempting to describe in human language the all. No, I will simply leave it there and let those questions rest deeply within you. And maybe they will prompt some wisdom from within. Yes, they will. Maybe they will absolutely spark a rising of knowing from deep within your being. Because you see, you all know the answers that are belonging to any question you may ever sense or ask or want to know. If I ever cry or ever have a person cry who is with me, my goodness, do I allow it and honour it and value it for the beautiful revelation within it. That revelation that not is crying anything to feel dissatisfied with, but rather it is something to honour joy with. Thank you.